If the Bible were written today and we'd never had an old book written by ancients trying to explain the concept of a God, it would look very different. At least I think so. We wouldn't have a God sitting on a throne who was a king that we hoped might be benevolent if we were just good enough and did enough of what he said. In fact, we wouldn't have a patriarchal God at all. God would be more of a group, a democratic think tank. But when the ancients wrote the Old Testament and the first century religious people were trying to figure out religion in the first century, all they knew of authority was a king, a monarch, a male patriarch, a father who led a family, and you just hoped it was a benevolent, good-hearted father and not one of those horrible ones. So both Old Testament and New Testament were written completely through that filter that a good God would have to be a good man sitting on a throne, punishing you if you did bad things, but possibly being good if you did good. What we fail to see today is that we're still seeing religion through that prism, God, through that prism of an ancient people who didn't know anything other than monarchy and bloodlines and kings. We now can see authority differently, of a group spirit that says we want the common good of all and good things to happen to everyone, not just those few that do what the king tells them to do. Heaven and God would be much more democratic. But because religion is still defined through that old monarchy, patriarchy of Old Testament and New Testament times, we have a group of Christian people who love authoritarianism. They want a biblical, horrible, vengeful God to put horrible, vengeful men in charge that will do horrible, vengeful things to their enemies and hopefully be a little bit benevolent to them. Life is no longer before Christ. It's no longer the first century. We don't have to live in those mindsets anymore. Even the Judeo-Christian Bible itself shows a God who evolves with culture and learns and changes. Yes, you can show me one verse that says God never does change, but I'll show you the whole rest of the Bible that shows that he does. I know it's hard to think about, but maybe everything we think about God was shaped by a view of a people who didn't understand the world the way we do. And maybe we get to understand the world, the universe, heaven, and God much more in our perspective today. Think about it.